Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Jaeger-LeCoultre Grande Reverso Ultra Thin Tribute to 1931. An historically inspired timepiece that bowed at SIHH 2011, this is effectively the 80th anniversary Reverso. You can see it and you can purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this tribute to 1931 with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this ultra thin rotating case stainless steel historical tribute watch. Now, of course, JLC has been all about historical tributes in the modern era. We've had tribute to Memovox, tribute to Geophysic, we've had tributes to every conceivable variant of the Reverso. We've had tributes to Polaris, tributes to Deep Sea, but it's this one, the tribute to 1931, that really left a mark, an indelible mark in Reverso history. Not just a timepiece to bask in reflected glory, but a modern classic that writes its own chapter in the manufacturer's history books. And rather than basking in the reflected glory or the ersatz notoriety of the original reference, this one has an identity of its own. This is a watch that you could wear without ever knowing the history or even caring, simply because the proportions, the details, the slim profile, and the character are so outstanding. Now, let's talk about how it fits. It may not be as large as you think, though dubbed Grande Reverso. Across the case, that is from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, it's actually a very reasonable 27.5 millimeters. In profile, you can see 7.5 millimeters thick, and that despite the reversible case. This one absolutely disappears underneath any shirt cuff. It's slim, it's prim, it's proper, but it's also got a little bit of a sporty air to it thanks to the striking and rakish Art Deco contrast of rounded surfaces, juxtaposition of straight lines, and potent rectilinear geometries about the case and the dial. Now, the watch is also quite reasonable at only approximately 46.7 millimeters lug-to-lug. So if you imagine a Rolex Datejust 36 on a strap, this is only about 3 millimeters broader than that across the wrist, so it's quite wearable even if your wrist is as small, in my estimation, as 14 centimeters in circumference. You're not going to have lug overhang. Now, the strap, as with most Reversos, is drilled fairly close to the case to soak up the daylight between case and strap. It's a very integrated look. It appears all of one band over the wrist. Now, you'll note, because it is drilled so high, if you have to pull the strap straight down around your wrist, you can actually wind up with a strap-to-strap span that is inboard of the lug-to-lug span, that is even narrower than 46 millimeters across the wrist. As I said, this one wears well even on a smaller wrist. Not always the case with Reversos, and not always the case with non-round watches. Now, you can see that the strap is substantial, thin like the watch, but with a sheer cut side, a monotone stitch, medium rectangular scales, alligator leather, black, and then on the underside a supple calfskin. This is a new strap, so you will be the first to put your DNA on it, my own accepted. All apologies. Simple and traditional stainless steel pin buckle in high polish maintains the historical vibe. The watch is all of high polish on its case, and this serves to highlight the triple drawn striations across the case band at 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock. They contrast beautifully with the vertical sweep of the case band on each side. You'll also note the Reverso has always had a little bit of a rounded profile when viewed from the lug down, and the rounded case flank as well as the conical ends of the lugs give the watch a relative nuance that's lost in the mug shots so common on the internet where you're just looking at the watch from head on. Now, as you move inboard from the polished sort of rounded flanks of what would conventionally be called a bezel, you find that the watch features a high-contrast white-on-black printing of a traditional railroad minutes, outboard of dart-style printed indices with broadsword hands at center. It's important to note, this watch is not just loomed, it is spectacularly loomed. It glows like a Rolex Submariner at night. That's how luminescent it is. So this is a very versatile timepiece. The dial is a matte black. It's not a gloss. It's a matte black with a very discreet Reverso script at 12 o'clock. No Jaeger-LeCoultre branding. The Reverso script quite compact. All of this historically true, as the very first Reverso models of 1931 actually featured a Tavana's caliber 64, so that the movement was not a LeCoultre, and they featured a case that was actually made according to the plans outsourced by Jaeger on behalf of LeCoultre and subsequently constructed by a component subcontractor. There were many, many fathers to the Reverso, and I sure, if you read up on the watch, I have a wonderful article on the entire history of the Reversal on IW Magazine's website. I can't possibly recap all of it here, but many people were involved and many companies were involved, with the result that LeCoultre and its name appeared nowhere on the dial of the initial models. Now this one, of course, is made case and movement by Jaeger-LeCoultre, and you can see the rotating system with a perlage on the carriage. You can see the blank canvas of the case back, ideal for enameling, engraving, lacquering, coat of arms, initials, a motto, squadron, or unit insignia. It's essentially there so you can customize it. And it's also a wonderful source of speculation and mystery. If you just want to wear it like this in the company cafeteria, folks will wonder what that is. Some may even ask you if that's a new smartwatch, so alien does it appear in its reversed form. Again, the original idea in 1931 was to be able to turn what was then a true piece of glass over the dial around and protect it from the blows of polo mallets. That was the original idea. The Reverso was a polo sports watch. Inside, Jaeger-LeCoultre caliber 822/2, manual wind, 45-hour power reserve, 21,600 vibrations per hour. The manual wind architecture is contained within a shaped caliber originally designed for the Reverso, so though it is a little bit smaller than the case these days, as Reversos have crept up in size since the early 90s when the movement was designed. Nevertheless, you have a true manufacturer shaped caliber inside a shaped watch. An impressive feat. Subject to the master 1,000 hours control, it is also subject to an extensive, fully cased-up test of precision, power reserve, and resistances. That is the 1,000 hours control, which is applied to all Reversos since roughly 2004. You can see the satin finish of the case back as well as the engraving. And of course, 3-bar water resistance may not sound like much, but prior to 1984, no Reverso ever created was water resistant. So with this case containing approximately 50 parts, all told, it's quite a feat to achieve any level of water resistance. Now the watch has a wonderful click. That is, the click of the ratchet wheel over the barrel is very pronounced. The detent is clear, you feel it and you hear it. A manual wind watch should be a pleasure to wind, and this one absolutely is. You can see this modern classic, a legend in its own right, and you can enter your own chapter in the history of the Reverso by buying this one on our website.